This is a witch and this is a queen. Mash them together and you've got one of the most anticipated games of 2022. The Witch Queen is almost here, a massive expansion that will forever change the way you play Destiny. And I was lucky enough to get an early look at the campaign. Bungie kindly invited me to a preview event and shared some fascinating insights into the game, all of which will be revealed in this video. There's so much new content that I've broken it all down into 10 separate chapters, each one bursting with mouth-watering new info. Now make sure you stick around for chapter 10 because I've got some exclusive Witch Queen gameplay. 3 minutes of buttery smooth glaive action. You'll see its insane melee combos, the impressive shield function, and the projectiles that pack quite the punch. Not to mention the Hive Guardians who look even more impressive up close and personal. Just gameplay, no commentary, so you'll be able to hear how impressive it all sounds too. So grab some headphones and indulge all your senses. But first, a free game. Grab your PlayStation controller, or your Xbox controller, or PC if you're that way inclined. Click the War Thunder link in the description box below and download for free one of the most realistic war games out there. Take control of over 2,000 military vehicles from 10 nations, with combat spanning World War II, the Vietnam War, the Cold War, and the modern military age. Within a minute of downloading War Thunder, I'm barrel rolling like an absolute pro. And your boy ain't too shabby at clearing out enemy ground forces. There's a satisfying ding every time you take out a target. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I also crashed, but you know, that's war, it's brutal out there. War Thunder has it all: intense tank combat, truly breathtaking aerial dogfights, and war out on the open seas. There's literally thousands of military vehicles to master, not to mention the amazing vehicle customization options. And yes, you can even call in devastating nuclear strikes. Guys, click the link in the description box below to download War Thunder for free. New players get unique vehicles and a 3-day premium account. Existing players also get unique vehicles. The Witch Queen delivers Destiny's most ambitious campaign yet, and for the first time ever, players can choose between 2 difficulty settings: Classic and Legendary. Legendary seriously beefs up the difficulty. You'll face stronger enemies and brutal combat modifiers. And if you bring a fire team along for the ride, the difficulty scales up, throwing even more enemies into the mix. In short, it's a lot harder. Having said that, you get better loot, double the rewards, upgrade modules, and even the chance of exotics. Now, a player who beats the campaign on Legendary will boast significantly more power than someone who opts for Classic. Definitely worth considering if you're planning a day 1 raid. And yes, you can choose Legendary mode right off the bat. You don't need to unlock it, and all campaign missions are replayable, so you can return to them whenever you want. The Classic setting is for those who just want to enjoy the story without breaking too much of a sweat. Now, Bungie has the confidence to compare the Witch Queen campaign to Doom, Titanfall 2, God of War, and Halo. The studio describes it as the definitive Destiny campaign with puzzles, dungeon mechanics, and stunning environmental set pieces. Now, I saw the entire second mission and I can confirm that the campaign is set to deliver a far more epic experience than past expansions. Bungo came to play. The first 2 campaign missions in the Witch Queen introduce players to a new ability called Deepsight. Now, you'll sometimes see these floating orbs of light throughout the campaign and while free roaming the throne world. If you approach an orb, you'll be given the option to activate Deepsight, which lasts 30 seconds. It's the exact same mechanic as reviving a guardian, you just hold down a button. Doing so causes invisible platforms to become visible, allowing you to reach previously inaccessible areas. It's kind of like popping a Queen's Foil consumable in the Dreaming City, you get to see invisible platforms. Deepsight, however, has a few more tricks up its sleeve. This ability can also highlight nearby objects of interest, for example, a Hive corpse that you'll need to investigate. The truth is, you'll never quite know what to expect when you discover a Deepsight orb. Bungie wants this ability to make players feel like a psychic detective, using Deepsight to uncover the many mysteries of Savathun's throne world, which brings me nicely onto my next point. Mars returns, and it's the location for 2 of the Witch Queen's biggest new features. Firstly, as you can see here, it's home to the Relic. This is where you'll need to visit in order to craft your weapons. We'll cover this in far more detail later in this video. You'll also find Ikora on Mars. She's part of an investigation unit called The Hidden. It's their job to help you solve the mysteries of Savathun's throne world. Now, the investigation board that we saw in the Witch Queen reveal trailer is something that you actually interact with on Mars as you gradually uncover Savathun's secrets. Along with Deepsight, it's yet another aspect of the game that casts you in the role of a psychic detective. Let's now talk about weapon crafting. This is a genuine game changer. You can now completely eliminate RNG and build your ideal god roll. The first thing you'll need is something called a pattern, which is just a fancy word for a weapon's blueprint. Now you get patterns from quest completions and gameplay objectives. Once you have a pattern, you can start building your instrument of death. You can choose the frame and 4 perks in order to craft a weapon to your exact specifications. But you're gonna need to grind in order to unlock your gun's full potential, because some of the perks, as you can see here, remain locked until you level up your weapon. This field prep perk unlocks at weapon level 4. So how do you level up your weapon? Well, by simply using it. Yeah, kill stuff with it, complete activities with it, give it a kiss and a cuddle, nurture your lethal child until it's all grown up. The majority of your grind will focus on using your weapon to level it up in order to unlock all the best perks, bringing you ever closer to that god roll you so desperately crave. And here it is, you are now the proud parent of a beautiful rocket launcher. And check it out, every weapon has a birth date right next to its current level. The question is, what present are you going to give your god roll on its first birthday? Now it's worth noting that as well as leveling your weapon up, you'll also require materials to purchase your weapon perks. For example, you'll get resonant alloy from simply dismantling blue weapons. Some of the rarer materials you'll get as drops from challenging activities, and other materials you'll get from Deepsight mods. So what are Deepsight mods? Well, weapons that drop with these red borders contain Deepsight mods. And here's where you'll find these mods. Now, in order to fill the progress bar, you'll need to use the weapon to kill enemies or complete activities. And check it out, once the bar is full, you can then extract the materials you need to purchase your perks. So yeah, in order to access every single weapon perk, you'll need to level up your gun and collect the materials that drop from dismantling blues, completing challenging activities, and maxing out your Deepsight mods. So then, as we've seen, you can choose your weapon frame and a combination of 4 perks to craft your ideal weapon. But what's this slot for? Well, this is a memento slot, which adds yet another level of customization. It's basically a weapon skin that you can earn from completing high difficulty challenges. At launch, a single weapon memento will become available for players to earn through Gambit. Bungie will then release Trials and Nightfall mementos later down the line. Think of these as rare endgame skins to pimp your weapon. Exotic weapon crafting follows the same process as legendary crafting. Once you find their patterns, you'll be able to craft the 3 class specific exotic glaives that you see here and the exotic SMG Osteostriga. Now, unsurprisingly, crafting exotics requires a larger amount of materials than legendary crafting. You won't be able to mess around with your exotics' unique perks because that's what makes these things exotic, but you will have the opportunity to customize minor stuff like the weapon's barrel and stocks. So if you're looking for a longer stat range or opting to shred through your enemies up close and personal, visit the relic and get crafting. Bungie has introduced a brand new origin trait perk, which you'll find right here in your weapon's 5th column. Now, unlike all the other perks, this cannot be crafted. Instead, this perk depends entirely on which activity your weapon dropped from, where it originated from, hence the name origin trait. For example, any weapon that drops from Trials has an origin trait called Alacrity. You gain increased reload, stability, aim assist, and range when you're the last living member of your fire team. Weapons that drop from Strikes have an origin trait called Vanguard Vindication. Final blows with this weapon grant a small amount of health. You get the idea. Now, Season 16, which I can reveal is called Season of the Risen and launches alongside the Witch Queen, introduces 12 new weapons into the world loot pool, 9 of which belong to the weapon foundries Soros, Hake, Omolon, and Weist. And yes, each foundry also has its own unique origin trait. For example, my personal favorite is the Hake origin trait, Breach Armaments. It's a perk which deals increased damage against vehicles, turrets, barricades, and stasis crystals. So yeah, the activity your weapon drops from determines which origin trait it has. Here's Season 16's Vanguard Shotty, Crucible Hand Cannon, and Gambit Auto Rifle, each with their own unique origin trait. And just in case you were curious, this is Season 16's pursuit weapon, a shotty called the Reckless Endangerment. It rolls with Snapshot and a new perk, Steady Hands, which gives a massive boost to handling. Here's a helpful tip. Whenever a Hive Guardian pops their super, the text "A Hive Lieutenant wields the light" will appear on the bottom left of the screen. Now, you can use this info to help judge the current situation. Do you run and hide, or do you dive in head first? Seeing this message appear while playing on Legendary will no doubt induce just a little bit of panic. Now, I counted, and it takes about 10 seconds for the Hive Guardian to resurrect after it's killed. So yeah, you gotta get in there and finish off the goat within that time frame, or you'll have to take it down again. You get an achievement for crushing your first Hive Ghost. And here's another useful tip to help you through the Witch Queen. Some enemies will glow white and have moths fluttering above their heads. Now these moths provide the enemy with shields. If you shoot the moths, they explode and take away the shield. If you ignore the moths and take out the hive, then the moths can seek out a nearby enemy and provide them with shields. So yeah, if you see moths flying around an enemy's head, shoot them. The Witch Queen introduces at least 12 brand new exotics, 6 weapons and 6 armor pieces. Let's start with the weapons. First up, the heavy machine gun Grand Overture, which can launch up to 20 homing missiles at a time. Utterly ridiculous. Next up, Parasite, an exotic worm launcher. Yes, you heard me right, exploding worms. The exotic SMG Osteostriga fires hordes of tiny homing projectiles that land on the target and explode with a poison burst. Next up, the Void Titan Glaive Edge of Action, which can shoot out a protective shield. Then we have the Solar Warlock Glaive Edge of Intent that deploys a healing turret. And finally, the Arc Hunter Glaive Edge of Concurrence, which launches an arc bolt that chains enemies. Next up, we're going to look at the 6 brand new exotic armor pieces. First up, the Titan chest piece that replaces Barricade with a giant wall of stasis. Next up, the Warlock gloves that provide an additional cold snap grenade with enhanced seeking. Then we have the exotic Hunter helmet. Any projectiles that you reflect with your arc staff deal increased damage. The other 3 exotic armor pieces are still under wraps, but these Hunter gauntlets look like they could be exotic, and this Titan helmet certainly has an exotic vibe. Now, the latest Witch Queen Vidoc revealed exotic Warlock boots called Devouring Rift Legs. Bungie hinted that equipping this exotic creates a rift that increases weapon damage while also healing you. There's a brand new 6-player match-made activity called Wellspring. It takes place in the Throne World and it's meant to convey the fantasy of storming Savathun's massive palace. Sounds fun. Right, it's now time for some no commentary gameplay. Pop on your headphones and enjoy the sights and sounds of the Witch Queen. I hope you enjoyed the gameplay. I'd like to conclude this video with my overall thoughts on the Witch Queen. Make sure you stick around until the very end of the video for a tasty little treat. Let me kick things off with my spicy Witch Queen hot take. This expansion is the closest thing we're gonna get to Destiny 3. Now, I'd be a fool not to back up such a bold statement with some cold hard facts. So, here are the facts. The Witch Queen delivers Destiny's most ambitious campaign yet with a brand new legendary setting that seriously beefs up the difficulty and the rewards. We get a brand new weapon crafting system that eliminates RNG and allows you to build your ideal god roll. A crafting system of such importance, it gets its own social space on Mars. That's right, Mars returns and you'll find Ikora waiting to greet you there. There's a new weapon type, the Glaive, the game's only first-person melee weapon that stabs, shoots, and deploys a shield. There's at least 12 new exotics, 50 new legendary weapons, and the thing that keeps me coming back to Destiny time and time again, a new destination to explore. Savathun's Throne World, a massive new location with 3 distinct areas, a shiny cathedral, a murky swamp, and a hellish underworld, all packed with secrets which you'll unlock using your new Deepsight ability. There's a new 6-player activity, new void abilities, and numerous quality of life improvements. So yeah, if you're a lapsed player or new to the franchise, now is the best time to hop into the action. And here's a little treat for those of you who made it to the very end of this video. The collector's edition of the Witch Queen came with these 4 emblem codes, and yes, you can claim them right now. You'll find the codes in the description box below, so simply copy and paste them and then redeem them on Bungie's site, which I've also linked. And don't forget to download the awesome free game War Thunder. The link is also in the description box below. Enjoy. Now guys, if you enjoyed this video, you're gonna also love this video. It's another massive Witch Queen breakdown that details everything else you need to know about this expansion. Thanks for watching, and we'll speak again very soon. Go watch the video, it's good.